Hello and welcome to another episode of The Ghost in the Magazine. I'm Steph.
I'm Jay, and we are on week 2 of Xeno-month with these handsome little babies here. Steph,
Their
come on.
teeth.
Yeah, the teeth. They're better than mine.
That's what they look like. Okay.
So, you didn't watch Prometheus, but I give you a
No,
TLDR.
I I skimmed it.
You skimmed my TLDR.
I have ADHD, my guy.
It was like a paragraph.
Listen here, I was already pissed that this movie was 2 hours long. So
Yeah. It's a lot different from the original Alien and Alien,
yeah.
where it's like action packed. This is slow and a thinker. In some sections, it is a little bit, we don't get answers to everything we want, but sure, what odds?
Can I tell you the best part about this movie?
Huh?
Is that they killed James Franco in the beginning. Goodbye.
Immediately, immediately
Goodbye.
he becomes toast.
Goodbye. Don't make me suffer through. And then I forgot he was even in the movie. And then when they show the picture at the end, I'm like, oh, fuck, jump scare.
Yeah, he's
Not
there.
the aliens. James Franco. Ew.
What did you think of the ship? Like as sci-fi ships go, because I love like big, chunky, doesn't look like rockets ships.
I don't know. I didn't really care about the ship. I thought it was really scary concept. I thought it was a really scary concept having like couples be
Mm-hmm.
like the crew because there's gonna be casualties.
That's what they want to do for like the Mars projects as well. They want couples to go because, they're going to be living there for the rest of their lives. They're going to be colonists.
Okay, so I totally get having the colonists on board be families. Okay, totally get it.
Mm-hmm.
But the crew themselves being husbands and wives, I felt like that was trash. That was so rude, setting them up for severe loss and trying to tickle my
Severe
heartstrings.
loss.
No, that's rude. I be crying. I didn't cry during this movie though.
No, no, nor did I. I did think a lot during this film, in so much as I wrote a page of notes, like a thesis for an essay just about the White Room at the start with Wayland and David. David and Wayland are two separate things in the extent that Wayland considers himself David's creator, which he is,
Yeah.
but Wayland is looking for his creator. But he treats David like trash, even though David can see his creator and is still treated like a lower life form. Wayland considers David to be like art, like the pinnacle of art, which is very Nietzschean, which I will get into. But we wake up, David is sitting on a throne in the White Room. To his left,
Pretentious.
to his left is a painting of the Nativity of Christ. To his right is a piano. Now, here's where Nietzsche comes in. He famously said, God is dead and we have killed him. But what he meant by that is that without the structure of religion after World War One, because of the amount of carnage that happened in World War One, a lot of people were becoming atheists because what kind of God would allow that to happen? So the Judeo-Christian fundamentals of like our morality fell away, and if that does fall away, what's to stop us going apeshit? And Nietzsche proposed this, and a lot of people stopped there and it's like, God, that's terrible. Like everything's meaningless. It's not. Nietzsche argued that we could find meaning and make meaning out of life through the pursuit of our own art and ourselves.
Yeah.
So David is sitting on a throne. To his left, the left hand of God, which is the unclean side, is a depiction of Christianity, the old morals. To his right is a piano, and he plays Das Rheingold, the entry of the gods into Valhalla.
Yeah, he sure
He,
does.
he chooses art over Christianity. So he is the Ubermensch that Nietzsche talks about, like the Superman. He sees Michelangelo's David. Sorry, I keep saying Michael because it's fucking Michael Fassbender. But he sees Michelangelo's David, and that's like the pinnacle of man. That's like the perfect man to Michelangelo. So David names himself to be the perfect man, the Superman, the Ubermensch. And that's what David's whole thing is with the fucking Xenomorphs throughout this whole thing, is that he thinks he's working on his art. He's become the creator or the godhead. That Wayland was for him, but humans are fallible. We fuck up. David's a thinking machine that won't die. He thinks he's better suited to rule. And we do see that. He does talk about that. Like, he takes on the role of the devil here almost, because he quotes Paradise Lost to Walter. He says, reign in hell or serve in heaven. I've mixed that up. It's serve in heaven or reign in hell, which is a line the devil says in Paradise Lost. Like, he is the devil in this story.
Okay. He also plays the devil, but he also pissed me off a lot. Okay. And I hate to offer, like, you're offering this like intellectual thing, and I'm over here like, grr, because first of all, the perfect man has two hands.
Yeah, but how dare you do my boy Walter like that? Because Walter is sexy David.
Walter is my boy. Walter doesn't need to have two hands. He doesn't ever say that he's perfection, that he's not trying to rule. He's trying to protect the people, which is what he was made for. David's a douche. And did you hear everything that Jay just said? That's what we're gonna get with all this AI shit. That is exactly
what we're gonna get. We're gonna get Peter Wayland being fucking Jeff Bezos, or Musk or whatever, and that's what your Twitter is gonna be, is just all the Davids.
And beyond that, there's not shit we can do because we're in cryo sleep, which is the scariest thing I can think of. Entrusting my sleeping body to robots. This ain't Futurama. I don't like it.
this ain't Futurama.
I don't like it. I'm just saying. And then, okay, so then you have all this like Christian imagery right out the fucking gate, okay? It was the most obnoxious thing I've ever seen in my life. That's not true. But it was very obnoxious, and I was watching it last night when I was already tired, and I'm just like, kill. I'm like cradling my iPad like, please, is this why the movie is 2 hours long? Because you're fucking talking to yourself? Yeah, that's a huge part of it.
That's
you're talking to yourself. It's sickening.
Someone needs to take away Ridley Scott's Bible, put it that way.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, so then you have all this in the beginning, and then this accident with James Franco's character, and so the man who ends up being captain is yes, thank you for the names. Can suck my dick, because he doesn't even allow them to take a few moments to mourn their previous captain, and is pissed because when they do, they disobeyed a direct order, and you know, his wife's trying to calm him down, she's the only little bit of brown, actually there's two, Jussie Smollett, but they're so light skin. I'm like, where's the melanin here? The xenomorphs aren't even like black, so where's the melanin? There was one. Don't talk to me, Jay.
No, the first colonist that Walter checks on, she was black, and then she died because the cryo sleep chamber fell.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right.
And then he's like, she's trying to calm him down, and he's like, no, nobody thinks I can do this job because I'm a man of faith. Sit down.
That's the problem with a lot of male characters in the original Alien and this, is that all of these men are so desperate for authority because they feel so small.
Yeah,
Like,
little dick syndrome or whatever.
exactly, because Orem, he says this is good judgment based on all the data available. He is a man of faith in so much as he's an insurance salesman. He doesn't do anything unless the numbers say that it's a better idea.
Yeah, but he's saying this like, I'm gonna prove that I'm like, I always say big boss woo-ha because I can't think of anything better to say.
Big
And
boss.
only on this podcast. He's like, yeah, well, I'm gonna prove I'm the big boss woo-ha, and then immediately does the stupidest fucking shit ever when he's in
Yeah.
charge. You, oh my god, I had such like secondhand anxiety for short hair lady. What's her name?
Her name is Daniels.
Daniels. Okay. Because she's like, what? What? Hello? What? You want to veer us off course where we've trained for this for decades. And I just
Mm-hmm.
lost my husband. And you want to fly us off to this unknown thing because we got a weird signal? No! No, we have, it's not just us. We have all of these sleeping people who are counting on us to do our duty. And you want to pull a little dick thing and go to this planet?
You know what I loved about that? Like the fact that that whole wreckage of the ship happened because of John Denver.
Yeah, it did. It
Because of
sure did.
country roads.
Especially in space. Space and deep sea to me are basically the same thing, and they're the scariest. It's the scariest thing. Drowning and being like sucked out into space
Mm-hmm.
are terrifying to me. That's what really scares me. Okay, if I get an unknown signal and it's
John
John
Denver.
Denver. Fuck you. I'm just gonna assume like it's just been echoing off of something for forever. Why
Mm.
does a John Denver song mean that this bitch is alive and we should go rescue her? That's not our job. That's not the ship's job.
Yeah.
It's not.
No,
We got 7 more years.
it wasn't that they were going to rescue her. It was that they missed that planet and it was like a couple of weeks away and no
It
one
doesn't
wanted to go
matter.
back in the cryopods. Yeah, no, I understand. It was a stupid choice. It was a stupid choice.
I get not wanting to go back in the pods, but literally she said it herself. We've trained for this for decades. Like there's protocols, you know what I mean? And they've been out there already for how long? Years at least, right? A
Mm-hmm.
couple. And you're gonna just like fuck off like, oh well maybe no, maybe it's Satan and he's luring you. So you want to talk about religious shit? Maybe that's the enemy out there trying to lure you to your death. Oh, surprise!
Surprise!
Shuddy, this is
It's Michael Fassbender quoting fucking Percy Shelley.
oh my gosh, in a monotard. Like, I
Yeah,
can't.
with the hair down to here. He has no facial hair, did you notice? But he could grow
I
his hair
did.
out.
The long, like he's giving the Lucius Malfoy,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a lot. And she says in this man's face, "This is a monumental risk not worth taking." And I don't understand what in God's name would possess him to be like, "You're wrong. We're going."
Yeah. No, you are correct. But like all that devil imagery for David, um,
Yeah,
like his little proto aliens are all like hung out like they're on a cross. Uh, he lives in a fucking graveyard that he created,
it's
and
icky.
he was once God's favorite son, and he was cast out because he rebelled against his creator. Like he is the devil.
He is, but in respectfully, this is the most like white people shit movie,
Yeah,
um,
absolutely.
ever. Because they do this thing. Okay, all right. And then they go far out into this wilderness. Just because you see giant wheat doesn't mean it's safe. Ooh, something humans can eat and we can breathe the air. Okay, and it's giant wheat. I would assume that there's giants. You know what I mean?
There
Big wheat.
was. That was the thing.
See what I'm
The
saying?
engineers were giants.
I'm using my big girl brain, and I didn't even train for a space expedition. I was
Um,
like, They touched everything.
They
They
did.
touched
They
everything.
touched everything. They didn't
Spores,
think to put on masks or gas masks
gloves,
or fucking
hazmats,
like hazmat suits. No, they just went straight in. Fucking hell.
and touched everything. If I see spores of any kind, anything that looks like a fungus, I'm assuming it's going to kill me. I'm assuming it's going to be like a parasite or something. And that could be because I've seen too many horror movies. But, like, I have some self preservation. I don't know.
Do you think that's what Keen was the lady flying the spaceship? She's Tennessee's wife.
Yeah.
Do you think that's what she thought whenever they brought back your man and the chest burster was going out his back? She thought there's a fungus among us.
She sure didn't, because if she did, she wouldn't have done that. My thing is, like, I just don't understand why you would ever. What do you think your body's going to do? You're soft. Why would you ever try to hug a pale, sweaty, convulsing man who
Mm-hmm.
clearly has lesions on his skin? And this happened like that. Why don't you go into fight or flight? Get the fuck out of the room. Leave him in there and close
This
the
is
door.
this is the far future, right? Because that was how they treated epilepsy. Whenever people would have seizures, they were told to like hold them. But that was in like the 1800s, the
Yeah, that's not
1940s. This
anymore
is not.
because I
Yeah.
no. I when I was a manager, I had an underling who had epilepsy, and that is not how we handle her when she has a seizure. Like, it just doesn't. I can understand panic mode, but, like, I don't know. Not I'm not gonna touch you. Like, first of all, it might be shitty of me, but you look gross, dog. Like,
He did look
ew.
gross. He did. That's
And
not shitty.
he was violently convulsing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
strap him down if you have to, but, like, don't sacrifice your body.
What
Ugh.
what did you think of the design of these guys?
um I like it. I like do. I just didn't like the white ones.
I have it in my notes. I was like, these aren't xenomorphs, these are
They're
xenomonkeys.
sperms.
Because they were like
Oh,
little like they were little like spider monkeys going around.
I didn't even mind that they were just kind of like all over the place, because I think that the little ones, I think it's funny that they do that. Because the face huggers are, kind of like that, and they start fast, like right away. As soon
Mm-hmm.
as they pop out the skin, they're capable of fucking up your life. I don't mind that. It's just, I don't know, the how smooth and white they were really put me off. And, like, the big one that was like watching that girl,
Oh, the big one
like,
that Rosenthal like ripped her head off.
yeah, that one really fucking grossed me out.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was just.
It was it was the difference between it going like fucking feral at her and then like just shoulders completely dropped standing in front of David.
Yeah, I didn't like the submissiveness. It just icked me. Kill it with fire, kill
Mm-hmm.
them all, like, just throw them in a pit, kill them.
It's weird to think that they wanted to give the aliens like a backstory in so much as David created them. Like he made the eggs with the facehuggers in them.
I'm not into it. I'm not
Mm-mm.
into, like, my babies. Like,
My
ew.
baby, my baby.
Oh my God, Jay.
Oh, speaking of like again the religious imagery again, whenever the first proper xenomorph is born and like bursts out of Oren's chest, him and David do like David raises his arms and it does
Yeah.
the same thing, and it's like,
Yeah, that
yeah,
creepy little baby. Like, all I could think of, there is a meme with the little xenomorphs
it's like
doing the "hello, my baby."
baby, hello.
Yeah, literally all I can think about. And I'm like, I can't take you seriously. But the effects were really bitchin'. Like,
Oh,
I love
absolutely. Yeah, yeah,
all
yeah.
the belly busting. I respect. It's gross, and I like it a lot.
The little like bestiary that David has. There's one where he's like clearly like cut open an engineer and has like peeled it back to look at its muscles.
Yeah.
I noticed later on that it's posed like Michelangelo's David. That was a nice
Like,
little Easter egg.
eat me. But he has nothing but time. You know what I
He
mean?
had
Like,
10 years there. Yeah, he created the Xenomorphs. He was doing his art.
all right, we
Yeah.
need to talk about Fassbender on Fassbender. This one's for Elle.
Ah, yes, yes. The kiss, as it were.
Okay, but like, okay, I wrote this down. I have like 4 notes, but I wrote this down specifically because the whole scene, I was cackling. I was ugly laughing. I couldn't breathe because, Walter's all curious and with the instruments and stuff. And then the other one David peeks out and he says, "Whistle and I'll come." And I said, "Excuse the fuck out of me, bitch."
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, and it gets worse because he's like teaching him how to play the flute, but he's like, "Watch me and I'll do the fingering." You're doing this shit on purpose, David. Like, if you want to fuck yourself, just do it already. They do kiss.
They do
They
kiss,
do
but
kiss.
I thought that was less like David coming on to Walter and more like um Judas kissing Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
for sure.
Yeah, it's
For
like
sure.
before he betrays him, he like kisses him.
I hate it. I fuck with Walter. I do. Even with his one hand, he was down
Yeah,
for the cause.
David is AI gone rogue. He's like that bot they hooked up to the internet, and within 5 minutes, it was saying racial slurs. That's David. Walter is like your Snapchat AI.
I was drowned. Yeah, he's a good buddy and he does his job. And you know, I was really hoping that it was Walter that made it out of that fucking
I
cave. I
know
was really
you were.
hoping.
I
I was
know.
really, I really didn't
Do
want it
you,
to be David.
did you catch whenever the xenomorph got on board? The one
No,
that got back to the ship. So while Daniels is out fighting this beautiful beastie, there's
that's
a
sexy
xenomorph behind me.
mamas.
Yes. While she's fighting that, um David is applying a new like strip to your man's face that had been burned off. And
I
David has like the little embryos of the face huggers. So he just infected this guy. They got back to the ship. The guy, boom, burst out. And then the xenomorph went and killed the couple that safely stayed on the ship and were having sex in the shower and should have deserved
and
better.
boom, there goes another brown person. Fuck all
Pretty
the
much,
brown
yeah,
people.
like threw them out.
I did like that scene though. Like,
It was
oh
beautiful.
my god. And you're
Yeah.
most vulnerable in the shower with your lady. Boom, little mouth through the face.
As a horror like throwback, it's very psycho, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I do like that. I think that's honestly, I think that's why I've always had a little bit of anxiety in the
About the
shower.
shower.
Especially if I'm washing my face. I'm like,
You need to have like it be looking around you at all times.
yes, I'm not going to be caught unawares by a fucking alien or a psycho killer.
I'm sorry that I keep bringing up religious imagery, but I
Do
gotta do
it.
it.
We
I
still
gotta
have
do it.
time.
Michael and Walter fighting,
Yeah.
brothers killing one another with a rock. They're fucking Cain and
Ooh,
Abel.
Cain and Abel.
Yeah,
Ooh, okay. Who directed this movie?
Ridley Scott. He went big balls to the wall, and then didn't answer any of our questions because the third film got cancelled because Prometheus and this flopped. But there is a new one in the works, Steph.
I don't know.
Wayland Yutani. Back
I
at it.
don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. I always say I don't know, and then I'm like, obviously I'm gonna fucking watch it. Obviously, I'm a theater whore. Like, any excuse for me to see something in the theater, I'm gonna take it.
You know who was very sure of themselves? David when he replaces the human embryos with facehugger embryos.
I'm really disappointed. I hate it. And that's why I won't trust cryo sleep, because how do I know?
Last note I want to give about this film is that apart from it being like, about creators and creations, um, if you look at it from a very familial point of view, it's really a story about inherited trauma, familial
Mm-hmm.
trauma. David was treated like a servant by Wayland, and then David creates this perfect, you know, creature in his own image, um,
The eye twitch.
but he treats it like an animal. He's like, but he says the line it really creepily in Michael Fassbender's voice, is blow on the nostrils of a horse and he'll be yours for life. It's,
I literally wanted to kill him when he said
mm-hmm.
that. Like the way he was just looking over the thing, like, you are daddy's greatest treasure.
Exactly, yeah. And that's what,
Sicko.
like, Walter is a reaction to familial trauma because David's series of synthetics were all too human, too free thinkers, like,
Mm,
and they were treated like really suspiciously because of the uncanny valley.
yeah.
And then Walter comes in, and Walter is very monotone, very straight, serious. And he's actually treated a lot more friendly by the crew. He's given a drink by Tennessee at James Franco's funeral.
Rip.
Ripperoni
Rest
pepperoni.
in peace, Rich.
Literally, ripperoni pepperoni. So, Steph, you didn't like
Yes.
Covenant.
No, I didn't actively dislike it, I guess, but it pissed me off a lot, and not in like a fun way.
Mm.
Because sometimes it's fun, you
Yeah,
know,
I
but
think
this wasn't it.
they did a better job in this with the cast than they did with Prometheus because you actually have characters who have personalities, like the original Alien. You're able to tell one apart
Yes,
from the other,
yes, I love
even
that,
if you
especially for
even if you
an
don't know their names.
yeah, for an ADHD queen like myself. That's important, okay? And I fuck with Tennessee.
Do you remember one of the guys? He touches the wheat. He's like, "This is cultivated."
Yeah,
His husband, like, we find out they're a gay couple halfway
yeah.
through, and it's
Oh yeah,
when he dies, and it's not ever drawn attention to.
I know.
Like,
I
it's
love that
never
shit.
pointed out until that scene, and
And like,
that's what you take
thank
away
you
from
for thank you for not excluding a gay couple when they can't procreate and you're building a new colony. Like,
it. Yeah.
that is the inclusion I like. So that is a kudos, but like killing all the black folks.
We really haven't given enough praise to Daniels or that actress's portrayal of Daniels because she does like badass, but she also does traumatized really fucking well.
She does, and I think you need a short-haired space baddie in your Alien movie.
You do.
I do. Did Prometheus have one?
Shaw, but then we saw what happened to her. She ended up on David's table with her ripped
I'm
open.
tired. You
That's
need
who
a
that's who
short-haired
David was
space
in
baddie.
love with. She was the one singing Country Roads.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Yeah, yes it is. So that is week 2 done. That is 2 of the 4 Xenomorph movies we're watching.
You can find this podcast on the interwebs at ghostinmagazine.site. You can find it on Twitter at GITM Podcast. You can find me on Twitter at WitchXPudding.
You can follow me on Twitter at JRobertyPoet.
Okay, bye.